Hello everybody and welcome to my stream. I hope everybody's doing well. I am doing fantastic. You know, you have those weeks where you just don't seem to be getting much rest and you're really busy and everything's stressful, and then all of a sudden the weekend comes, you get a good night's sleep and you feel a whole lot better. That's me today. So you're gonna get rare form Karn today. Lots of innuendos, lots of poop jokes, probably a lot of fart jokes, maybe some pee jokes, maybe some booger jokes. How's everybody going? I missed you guys. It feels like longer than a week just because I've been so busy, so tired. Corn jokes. Let's see, I gotta think of a corn joke. Let's see, there's Adidas. There's are you ready? Okay, yeah. Are you ready for some Skyrim Stormcloak assassin action? Because that's what's gonna happen. They take a part of you. Me too. Who would ever joke about corn? They're a very serious band for very serious people. Alice in Chains actually is a serious band. I would not argue with that. All right. Let's see. That happens a lot easier when the weekend ain't also a heat wave. Yeah, actually, we've been getting a little bit of respite from the heat from the hurricane hitting the West Coast. I hope everybody over there is okay. We're getting scattered thunderstorms and stuff like that. A little bit of rain. Takes the temperature down a little bit whenever the storms hit. So I'm thankful for that, but not at the expense of any kind of destruction that might be going on over there. Love that tiny shield. I know, it's so cute, right? We'll be getting some better looking bucklers. This one's a little ridiculous looking. He's got a tiny little sword and a tiny little shield to match. I like it. Okay, so today, what are we doing? I think we're just going to be doing some general questing. I do have a quest for, I think it's like the Crimson Dirks. Oh no, this is the Saints and Seducers questline that I was just doing, just off stream, just to, you know, level up and practice and stuff like that. So we might be doing that. The I think the next checkpoint for this is all the way over here in like Carthwayston, which I think if we go cross country, we're going to be going right through the tundra, right through Sabercat country. So I'm thinking if we can encounter, like, I know there's a Sabercat den like right on the other side of this this little river here, like right up here somewhere. If we can encounter those, we might be able to complete our rite of passage for the Stormcloaks. For anybody who didn't know, the Stigr here is sort of a sleeper agent assassin for the Stormcloaks. He's been sent out to hone his assassin skills and his rite of passage before he can come back and be like activated as like a fully active part of the Stormcloak effort. Is that he has to sneak up and one-shot kill a Sabercat, sort of the apex predator of the tundra. So we'll be working toward that. If we can get there, we might be able to start the Civil War quest for the Stormcloaks. And, you know, that's kind of like the sort of the main story of this character. Obviously, the Civil War quest line doesn't take that much time to do. It's you can run through it pretty quickly. I'll try to stretch it out a little bit. We'll see how it goes, but there's going to be a lot of stuff on the way. Probably some Dark Brotherhood stuff, maybe some Thieves Guild stuff, just to get the trainers for everything that I need. But we'll see how that goes. What I'm doing right now is I'm trying to get my crafting skills up to snuff with the rest of my combat skills, and I just want to get my gear leveled up and enchanted to a point where it's going to help. Actually, enchanting is looking pretty good right now. I need a few more levels in enchanting. Smithing, I think we're right about with where the combat stuff is. Level 40 for one-handed, 49 for block. But this is actually with classic classes and burst signs reimagined. This is actually 40 and 29. So we're good. Right around 29, 30 is where we want to be with our crafting. Enchanting is close. Alchemy, not so close, but we'll work on that. Stigr looking at the camera like Batman from the Arkham games. Yeah, I love this mod actually. This is called Look What You See. And there are different options in it. I have it set to a hybrid setting where he follows the camera. He looks at you if you are facing him, but if you're behind him, his head follows where the camera is going. And this is good for like screen archery, setting up like machinima scenes and things like that. You can get him to point his head wherever you need to. He can look up, he can look down, he can look to the side. All good stuff. I like this better than the automatic head tracking just because I have a little more control over it. It's been a must-have mod for me for quite a while. Look what you see. Weird question, but do you have you ever tried doing a Fallout 4 playthrough as Cad Bane? I've been trying it. It's fun. Cad Bane. I don't know who Cad Bane is, but if you're talking about Bane from the Batman universe, I have not. But I know that Belisarius has a build guide for it. Cad Bane, Star Wars character, gunslinger. Awesome. Yeah, that's an awesome character. I have not, but that sounds really cool. In fact, I think for my Starfield playthrough, which I'll probably be doing a Let's Play for on YouTube, I want to do a gunslinger. Not quite like a bounty hunter gunslinger, but more like a maybe a smuggler gunslinger. Mercenary type. But yeah, I love gunslinger characters. Caladran, how's it going, Caladran? I have your new video in my watch later queue. I have not quite gotten to it yet, but I will very shortly. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but I will. Looking forward. I love an orc character. Hope you are doing good as well, Caladran. Good, good. Yeah, that's an awesome character. It was like a very cool aesthetic. Cad Bane. I didn't know that was his name. That was in the book, the Boba Fett series, right, on Disney Plus. Still waking up, Magus? It's late for you. Trouble sleeping or something? Oh no, I saw Discord. Your back's bothering you today, isn't it? Hey, Aster, welcome, welcome. Okay, so right now, to level up my smithing skill, I crafted a bunch of these green archer gloves. These take 2 leather strips and 1 leather, which is the same as the regular leather vanilla gauntlets, but the hunter archer armor is worth a lot more for the same amount of material, so I just smith those up. That gets your smithing leveled up a lot faster. So now I am putting the most valuable enchantment on them right now, which is the carry weight, and just putting petty, lesser, and common soul gems on them. That should level me up pretty quickly. I just want to get to level 29, 30, and we should be done there. Sorry, I usually try to do this stuff off stream, but I've been very busy this week. Didn't get a whole lot of prep work in. We'll just go all the way up to level 30. How about that? A little pro tip for you guys. Don't ever spend money on training crafting skills. They level up so quickly. It's actually much more economically efficient to buy the crafting supplies and then just go do the crafting to level up instead of just paying for training. It's a lot cheaper, and then you have actual materials to sell and to enchant and to use for, you know, you can smith things up for enchanting fodder and things like that, and then you can sell that for more crafting materials. So yeah, don't ever pay for smithing training. Hey, Panicked Monk, welcome, welcome. Just go with the flow. Back is just not in agreement yet. Yeah, you gotta loosen that sucker up, huh? I think it was in the Holocron episode he first appeared. Okay. Yeah, I know that he was an established character, but my first exposure to him was in the Boba Fett series, I think. I think I've already harvested some of this stuff. Yeah, so these are ingredients that I've planted. The canis root, the imp stool, and the mora tapenella. You mix all those together and you get a strong paralysis poison with a lingering damage health effect added to it. So you paralyze them and then they just sit there and their health bar is deleted. Hold on, I'll be back. My second account, my phone is dying. No problem. Okay, let's see here. We'll do some paralysis, imp stool. This should level up alchemy pretty quickly. We're still just trying to get to level 30. And then when we do that, we'll head through the tundra. We'll do some cross-country toward, what did I say? Karthwasten. Oh yeah, so level us up quite a bit. Okay, what else we got? Let's do some Fortify Sneak. That might help out. Resist frost damage. Yes, please. Do a little bit of Restore Health. And we'll do some damage health. We have plenty of ingredients for damage health here. That should be enough to take us up to... Oh my gosh, that's barely moving. No, it won't be enough to take us up to 30, but whatever. I'm not going to waste all of my time and effort trying to do that. How valuable is this? A little better, but not much. Yeah, whatever. I'll wait for the next batch of paralysis ingredients to come up. What kind of ingredients do I have? Do I have any of the super ones? Let's see. That would be... Creep Cluster. I have, yeah, not much. I think it's like Dragon's Tongue, Fly Amanita, and Moratapanella. I think I just went through all my Moratapanella for the paralysis poisons. Maybe some Fly Amanita, and I need a break from effing up my game. I bought a new SSD and tried to install the AE version on that drive, but it didn't go well. Now everything is failing. Ouch. Yeah, different Skyrim EXEs. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of, I think, like the .NET framework, the NetScript thing has never really been ported over to the AE version of the game. It gets pretty finicky. There's a way to get the AE content. So what I'm doing right now is I have the old version of the Skyrim EXE from a backup. It's the 1.5.97 one, which is the non-AE version of the EXE, but I'm running all the AE content alongside it, and it's fine. But yeah, take a break. Minor Threat. I have not heard of that one. I do like Alice in Chains. I do like Korn as well. The two bands that were mentioned. I've never heard of Minor Threat. I'll have to look that up later. Okay, let's see here. Dragon's Tongue, Fly Amanita. Does that give us anything decent? Not too bad. Resist fire and two-handed. Yeah, this might work. Not much hanging moss. Do you have any salmon roe? Yeah, none of the go-to super potions that will level us up. I think we're good. Enough crafting to start the stream. Let's get this show on the road, shall we? So, Dead Kennedys. Never really got into the Dead Kennedys. Minor Threat or a punk band. Yeah, I never really got super into the punk band. I did some Sublime, a little bit of Rise Against. Back in the day, I did like Offspring, and Green Day has roots in punk, but yeah, I was mostly just like a Metallica skid in high school, and that's kind of where my music tastes have evolved from. These days, I don't know, I'm in a weird place with music. I haven't been... I listen to music for content creation purposes, just to see if I can find what would go well with like my next video. But other than that, I don't really just sit and listen to music for fun that much these days. It's if I'm going to listen to something, it's usually like a podcast or something like that. The Ramones, yeah, they're a classic, right? Hey, Gail Ohm, welcome, welcome. You're having a good start to your weekend? Okay, now we got a lot of good stuff to sell here. Maybe we'll take a stop at Whiterun on the way. Also need to buy some clothing for a crafting set, like a initial crafting set. I do have the alchemy and smithing fortification enchantments right now, so I can smith up a little something something, like a set of you know, just body clothing, gloves, and like a circlet, and of course a ring and amulet. One for alchemy, one for smithing right now, until we get, actually, I don't think this character is going to be doing enchanting much, so we probably will never get the twin enchanting perk. But once we get that crafting gear, then we can smith up our weapons and stuff. Now, that being said, I don't really feel like I've fallen behind in terms of power level at this level. I feel like I'm holding my own in combat pretty well, which is easier to do with a sneaky character, especially once you get your sneak to a certain level and take a few perks in that tree. Survivability is not going to be much of an issue unless you kind of get caught dead to rights out in open combat, and this guy can take care of himself pretty well. Hey, Strudel, welcome, welcome. How are the peepers feeling? Better? Still getting used to it? Little both? Oh, there's that Nern root all the way over there. I heard it. Oh.
I've been looking for you.
Have you?
Got something I'm supposed to deliver.
My hands only?
Your hands only.
I thought so.
Let's see here. There's a new museum opening up in Dawnstar. The owner is asking me to hand out invitations to travelers. Looks like that's it. Gotta go.
Mehrunes Razor for an assassin? Might be pretty good. Feeling okay. I'll be happier when my new glasses get here. I can see close up as well as distance. Okay, so yeah, you're still trying to make do with the drugstore reading glasses right now. Probably not doing the best job. Taste expand into pop punk, grunge, and new metal though. Yeah, I was into grunge back when that was a new thing. Nirvana, I think, still holds up today. Pearl Jam still holds up today for sure. A lot of those other grunge bands though kind of just fell by the wayside. Still good stuff to be had, but the two big ones, Nirvana and Pearl Jam, for sure still like hold up, and it's adequate-ish, yeah, for the glasses. Good. Are your eyes caught up to each other yet? Or are you still kind of like different vision in each eye? That I can see how that would cause some discomfort. Okay, we're getting kind of late here. Do our shopping run quick and then get back out into the wilderness. This guy's super into the divines. How does he feel about Mehrunes Dagon?
I'm sure you'll find
I don't know that he's super into the divines. I think he's devout. I mean, he's got Dawnbreaker on his back, right? He is extremely spiritual. I don't know that he's pigeonholed himself into only being devout to the divines. I think that he spends so much time on his own in the wilderness that he would welcome any voice that pops into his head, right?
Blades,
be it a Daedra,
anything to suit your needs,
a divine, any other kind of entity. And he just kind of goes on feel, right? He felt like Meridia could be trusted. You know, she just wanted him to slay some undead and kill a necromancer, which was cool. I think
You
that
call yourself a wizard? I challenge you to a duel.
okay. It's your funeral.
The gods will be the
I do
judge
not
of
call
that.
myself a wizard.
Get me out of here. This is a magic duel.
No.
You know,
You
wizards-
attacked me, and now you're trying to kill me. Is what's going on there.
Should be good. A fight.
Oops. These guys can be... This guy's got a lot of HP. Yeah, that crafting gear can't really come soon enough. That guy had very little armor, and I was doing like no damage to him without the poisons. Dremora Churl. But yeah, Mehrunes Dagon might be... Ooh, Argonian Blade. This is a dagger. It's a big dagger. We'll see how it stacks up against our hardened steel dagger. 26 damage versus 23. Ooh, we got a new dagger, folks. Thank you very much to the foolhardy aspiring wizard who thought that he could kill someone who obviously had no interest in a wizard duel with magic and then just got sliced up and poisoned instead. That looks pretty cool on the hip too. This looks like a deadly instrument right there. That would cause some damage. I like sort of the long daggers for this character. This character is kind of a hybrid assassin slash warrior. He can hold his own in open combat with a dagger. That's why he has like the lightweight buckler that he uses in combat as well, because he is meant for dual purposes, right? He can do the subterfuge and the stealth infiltration missions for the Stormcloaks, but since their ranks are stretched thin as it is, he needs to be able to contribute on the front lines as well. They need as many rank and file soldiers as possible, so they'll often put their specialists up there to help out. So he's got sort of like heavier light armor. I know you guys can barely see him. He's got some mail armor, some thick furs, maybe even some iron on the sides there. Nothing that's covering up a joint or anything, so nothing that's going to slow him down in combat or limit his mobility. But he's also, you know, he's got a small shield in the buckler. He's got a very large dagger, which looks more like a short sword to me. So a lot of dual purpose here. I like it. That's how I'm building this character anyway. See if Eorlund hasn't knocked off yet. So he leans toward the divines, but is willing to channel other deities as well. Where does he draw the line? What is his thought process for deciding? What is his motivation? Well, right now his main motivation is completing his rite of passage, which is sneaking up and one-shotting sneaking up on and one-shotting a saber cat. That is his mission right now. Once he can complete that, he can rejoin the Stormcloaks as an activated sleeper agent and join the full efforts of the Civil War. He's been kind of working on his sneak and his one-handed skill to be able to do that. He hasn't gotten there yet, but we're working on it. The problem is he spends so much time out in the wilderness that he's not in the most stable mindset, right? He hears voices in his head. It could just be the extreme loneliness, but it could also be actual deities who may mean to harm him or may mean to help him. We just don't know. So he's going to be open to any sort of entity that tries to contact him that way. He doesn't see himself as the lonely type, but that sort of prolonged severe isolation is going to affect a person no matter like how mentally resolute they are or whatever. So he actually doesn't even know if he's talking to voices in his head or if he's talking to actual magical entities. I also like to roleplay this that even with like Meridia, he doesn't really know that the voice in his head is Meridia, is a Daedric prince until, you know, it becomes more clear. But the whole talk about motivation, where he draws the line, I think his line moves constantly because of his unstable mental state. Right? With a sane character that's got their ducks in a row and they're in a place in their playthrough or their life cycle where it's like they are who they are, that makes a certain amount of sense. You can draw lines like that. With this character, I don't think we're there yet. I think that that line is more of like a wavy, like waveform that you'd see like on a grid, but not as like patterned, not as well patterned. It's just kind of all over the place right now. But that being said, he does know a little bit about the Divines just because, you know, Talos is a big deal in Stormcloak country, in Windhelm in particular, and it's the whole reason why the Stormcloaks, well, it's the biggest reason why the Stormcloaks are rebelling against the Empire right now, is the right to Talos worship. I don't think that he was ever like a big Talos guy. I think most of his spirituality as far as the Divines came, where it's just kind of absorbed it by osmosis from everybody else who was around him. We're keeping our eyes peeled for saber cats right now. I don't want to encounter a saber cat. Ooh, we got sneak is increased. There are mud crabs or something over there? I totally lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so he has some basic knowledge of the Divines and the Daedra, but he's not like a Heimskr or a Yora from Riften or whoever the priest and priestesses at the Shrine of Talos in Windhelm. He's not a student of the Divines. He's spiritual in that he has to believe in things beyond the here and now, because that's the only way that he's going to make it out here by himself. He needs to feel like he's part of something bigger. He has to believe that there's something else out there pulling strings either for his benefit or not. Otherwise, the pure isolation is going to get to him. So yes, while he does know that Mehrunes Dagon is bad, he might be in a spot where he just needs to feel part of something. And be a little more open in that moment to suggestions from Mehrunes Dagon or one of his cronies. So I don't know how many people have played Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. But this character is heavily modeled off of her. And that game had some really interesting takes on sort of insanity, mental illness, and things like that. A lot of what happens in that game is open to interpretation, whether or not it's just hallucinations, things that are happening in her head only, or if they are like really supernatural things that are going on in this weird world around her. So I'm trying to tap into that a little bit. Moon Knight in the comics had a mindset much like your character, though he only had a singular voice who was a moon god. Yeah, I watched the Disney Plus series on it. I didn't think it was a great series. I don't think that's the fault of the Moon Knight. I think it was the fault of the writers and the showrunners not spending enough time on the Moon Knight himself, and it was more just about the satellite characters and things happening around the situation, and not enough around the superhero itself, right? I think a lot of writers and showrunners who aren't really used to doing like superhero movies and shows, they tend to try to do too much with the subject material. Just like show the superhero doing his superhero stuff, explore like what makes that character tick, but not at the expense of of like the superhero action, right? And what made people fall in love with the comics to begin with. I don't think they laid enough of the superhero stuff down as a foundation before they started like trying to get into psyches and things. And sort of like ancillary like satellite characters around the Moon Knight. He sounds a little bit like the priest you have to rescue for the Dawn Guard, except this guy isn't convinced of quite who he's talking to yet. I like it. Yeah, kind of like that. Dexian, I think his name is, who you're thinking of. Yeah, that guy's very singularly focused on RK. And there's something to it, right? Senua's Sacrifice is a lot like that too. She is a hell of a warrior. She fights really well. And that could be attributed to some like supernatural power that she has, or maybe she's just extremely talented as a sword fighter. But in her mind, it's definitely she's tapping into the spirit world, which gives her like an advantage over over her enemies. Dexian is kind of the same way. There's something to it, right? RK is telling him things that he shouldn't otherwise be able to know. What do I have my hotkey set to here? Let me see. No, that's incorrect. Not that one. But this one. Oh, geez. It's been so long since I played this character, I don't even remember. Oops, not forgotten magic. Gamepad++. Action keys. Looking for hotkey 5. Do we got anything? No. Combo key? No? Okay. Well, we'll just switch manually when the time comes. I can't be bothered to set it up right now. Let's have Miko wait here. It's just a little bit loud. As sort of a champion of Meridia right now. Kind of feels an obligation to take this Luna Moth. Oops. So I don't have any worries about sneaking up on Saber Cats at this point. I feel like with what just happened with that skeleton, I kind of passed like right through his line of sight there. And he still didn't detect me. I think that our stealth abilities are in pretty good shape right now. Should be able to sneak up on a Saber Cat, no problem. I just don't know that our damage output is at a place where I can one-shot a Saber Cat. Really? As soon as I go in for the kill, that's when you decide to move, like 7 years later? God, I hate these guys. Alright, well, fine. Yeah, see, even the white. Need more stamina. Oh, got me. You're still not dead? Come on. Ooh, okay. Oh, this counted as a dungeon, huh? Did not know that. Cool. Mad Adam, welcome. How's it going, friend? I saw that you posted your episode 2 of your Nightblade series. I got it in my watch later queue. Have not gotten to it yet. Looking forward to it, though. Well, the show made it overtly supernatural, like they were afraid to suggest that he might just be nuts. Yeah. That's too bad, right? I used to read comics a lot when I was in college, and one of my favorites was the Ultimates, which is like it was like a rebooted, new, fresh take on the Avengers. Completely rebooted from the ground up. And I thought that they did some really cool stuff with Thor, in that it was kind of the same way. They made it out from everybody, from the outside perspective in, that he was just some crazy, like, super buff Norwegian dude who was really, really gung-ho about Old Norse culture and all the stories and the mythology and everything that went on around it. And to add to that, it turned out that his suit that he was wearing and Mjolnir were not really like those mythological artifacts, but they were highly technological, like, weapons. They were experimental weapons that he somehow got his hands on that allowed him to fly, gave him, like, enhanced, like, super strength, and, like, the hammer was, like, able to channel, like, lightning and things like that. So they really played up on the whole, is this guy crazy or is he actual Thor? Because in his mind, he was Thor. And these experimental weapons were his armor and Mjolnir, and he just found them. And they were being returned to his rightful owner, but he was like the only one who believed that. Luckily for the good guys, oh my god, it's so dark out here. I can hardly see anything. I don't know how I'm going to be able to track down a saber cat like this. Luckily for the good guys, he did seem to have a strong sense of morality. Did not like evildoers. So they were able to kind of just deal with them. But yeah, kind of the same thing. It's a bit of a trope, but it's like a cool one, and like, I don't think it's one that's been overdone, but you do see it. Well, every living person carries a bit of insanity in them. What matters is if it manifests, in which manner, and how the person acts on it. Yeah, I mean, we all have varying degrees of how we control our impulses, right? But I think that crazy impulses kind of lie in all of us. It's like if we're getting chewed out by our boss or whatever, or like an unruly customer or something, we would really like to kick him in the gut and do a stone cold stunner on him, right? Or like right in the middle of our workplace. But we don't. We don't do it. We swallow up our rage like true human beings, true professionals. And then we go see a therapist about it afterwards. Or vent to our significant others. Green Spring Hollow. Okay, I think this is where the saber cat / saber cats reside. This might be it. Let's leave Miko in a place where he's not going to get in the way. This is a big moment for our rite of passage here. If we do in fact see a saber cat over here, and the saber cat hasn't chased down those mammoths in a exercise in lethal futility, we might get our chance here to rejoin the Stormcloaks. Yeah, there he is. Okay, am I going to be able to do it in one hit? Is he the only one? because I don't want to die during my rite of passage here either. Okay, we're going to try a power attack. Oh, there it is. Your boy's a Stormcloak. How about that? Okay, that means we can... Ooh. Oh, that's the hunter, not the saber cat. I was like, why did the saber cat have all this like cooked food on him? Yeah, all right. So I still want to get get my crafting gear set up, get my current gear tempered and enchanted to a point where I don't feel so weak against high HP enemies, and then we'll rejoin the Civil War effort. That's good. This is like the first like introductory chapter of the Stigr complete. Now it's going on to chapter 2, which is kind of like the main storyline. We're rejoining the Stormcloaks, rejoining the main war effort. Man, I'm excited. This is like what like deep roleplay can get you, is like you start seeing the game in new ways. It starts to feel fresh, and then something as mundane as killing a saber cat feels like a big moment in the game. Yeah, I suggest you try it. I'm like excited. I mean, you guys know how much I love alchemy in this game, right? Sigurd's gold necklace. Sigurd, that's Alvor's wife, right? Betcha there's a missive on the Whiterun missive board for Sigurd's missing gold amulet. If not, we'll just sell it off or enchant it or whatever. Raw horse meat, don't need it. Let's get all the alchemical ingredients out here. Yeah, you guys know how much I love alchemy. And that love came from the Chemical Whispers series, where I did an alchemy primary character. And the way I roleplayed that for a lot of it was that, okay, so alchemy can be kind of dry, it's just mixing potions and everything like that, but when I found like a new recipe for like a powerful new potion, I felt like I just like leveled up 10 times. And I got like super excited about it because I was in the same headspace as the character. And that character would get super stoked whenever he found like a new poison that he could try out on something. And if it worked well, then it was like even more exciting. It's good stuff. I've been working on a vid on Fallout's music. Oh, cool. And why it doesn't really fit Fallout as much as it seems. We'll be giving some suggestions of genre that fit better. That's kind of cool. Kind of a cool idea. Okay, so where am I going now? I was going to Karthwasten to do the whole Saints and Seducers thing. I think the next priority here is getting back to Windhelm. Trying to find the... I don't think I've actually started the quest, maybe, is what's going on here. No, I haven't, because they would make me go... I don't have Corvinund yet, and I don't have the Serpent Stone. So yeah, we have to just go report back to Ulfric and Galmor, is the next thing going on. But it's almost 10 o'clock now. Let's go ahead and pitch camp. I don't want to take over this hunter's camp, because they're... in the game, saber cats seem to be fairly solitary creatures, but I think that in reality, predatory cats live in prides. So they might have some of the members of the pride like out doing hunting and stuff. So I don't want to fall asleep at camp just to be ambushed by a saber cat. Let's find, oh yeah, yeah, this is fine. We can do this. We cleared the undead. We should be fine to camp out here. Let's do that. Okay. Build campfire. Hey, Lil Vixie, welcome, welcome. Yeah, the politics stuff, I'm not completely averse to talking about politics, but in this day and age, it's becoming harder and harder to have a civil conversation about it, so probably best to just avoid it. Not probably, definitely. Yeah, that's the best policy. Let's keep ourselves happy and focused on Skyrim, and less about the real-world things that weigh on all our minds. We're here to relax, have fun. Never on YouTube, right? Now I know where all the cool kids hang out. Alrighty. Okay, so it looks like I need to... Sorry, just getting caught up here. Some new people in the chat. And the wind. Hey, the wind. So the wind, are you getting any weather over there? I know the hurricane's on its way. You gotten any like weather alerts or anything? I just want to make sure everybody's okay over there. We've been getting thunderstorms and stuff over here, just kind of like as just scattered residuals of that main storm system over there. Not yet. SoCal though has. Okay. Haven't been keeping my eye on the news. It's supposed to be incoming as of yesterday. All right, we need to harvest some wood. Oh yeah, no, I get you. I get you, Lil Vixie. My sarcasm detector is usually pretty sharp. No, I'm always on YouTube too. Like even throughout the workday, I have podcasts and stuff going. Ooh, raw bear meat. Get some bear steaks. Hell yeah. Could go for a bear steak right now. Why not? Particularly the back steak. The Stigr could definitely go for some bear back right now. But James, I saw you pop in. I don't know if I said hi to you, but welcome, welcome. Glad to see you again. Can I upgrade this to a roaring campfire now? I can indeed, and only have one dead wood left over. That's good. Okay. I just realized all my camping supplies are on my horse, so I gotta use the horse call power to get him over here. Magically teleport my horse. How's that for your immersion? Teleport my horse right on top of the fire. All right, Felia, let me get the camping supplies out of there. Boom, shakalaka. Been here for a while, just went unnoticed. I'm sorry about that, the wind. I promise I don't try to ignore you. Sometimes, you know, you look at the screen and then chat moves, and then I look back and I kind of just see what I see. Let's not sleep yet. Some vegetable soup. Am I satisfied? Well fed. Okay, I think we're good. All right, let's get some sleep and we'll head back to Windhelm. Balanced it out by listening to Vivaldi. There you go. Okay. Here we go. So I think we're just gonna take the horse. There's no use stalking through the forest now, trying to sneak up on poor defenseless saber cats. We kind of completed our goal for the tundra. Let's head back to Windhelm. That's our new priority. I think we're just gonna take the road more traveled all the way back to Windhelm. I'm taking that nightshade though. Can't stop me. Trying to decide whether I have enough voice left to do choir. I think it's important to do stuff that you enjoy, you know? It enriches your life. It also, I think it balances you out, like chemically or whatever too. So like, I mean, if you're not up to it, you're not up to it, right? Been through a lot with the eye stuff lately. But having some positive things in your life, I think, is very, very good and important to do. And even if you're a little tired, it's worth it to at least consider and try to have those things in your life, right? I'm sure you'll make the decision that is best for you. Oh, I was trying to take some flowers, but apparently I just got off my horse instead. So I'm using this third-person selection mod, which I do actually like quite a lot, but it does take some getting used to, especially with how it interacts with convenient horses, because convenient horses kind of has its own selection mechanic that it uses. I'll get there. It's not that it's doing anything wrong, it's just that I'm not used to the way that it works. So I'm just randomly getting off my horse when trying to pick plants and stuff. It's been 3 years since you've been to the choir? 2 COVID years and last year's cancer stuff. Oh, that does make sense. That has been a long time. So how are you feeling about it? Are you like nervous to go back? You having some anxiety about it, or are you just excited and wish you could go? A little bit of both, probably. That's how I was going back to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu training after taking a couple years off for COVID. Probably don't want to be wrestling people while there's a highly contagious pandemic going around. Nervous indeed, yeah. Oh, you're doing a car show. That's awesome, Magus. Yeah, that Focus ST is a pretty cool little car. I actually did test drive them. I'm getting severe deja vu right now talking about this, but yeah, I did actually test drive a Focus ST when I bought my Mustang because I'd read about them and I thought they were really cool. I just thought the Mustang was a little bit better. It was more expensive, obviously, but not by a whole bunch. I like the rear-wheel drive stuff a little better. I feel like front-engine, rear-wheel drive cars are balanced a little better for me. They're a little more intuitive. I can have fun in them without ending up wrapped around a light pole or in a ditch somewhere, right? I know what the car is gonna do when I rev the engine. Front engine, front wheel drive cars are a little bit different in the way that they're balanced and the way that they understeer instead of oversteer when you're pushing the limits. Also, I'm a big dude, and the Mustang had a little bit more room in the cockpit. The ST was a little more narrow. Headroom was fine, I think. The Mustang does have a little bit more headroom as well. And a little more legroom, but the Focus ST was fine. There was enough room. It just felt like a little more narrow, a little more cramped. But I did like the sound of the engine. That was really cool. They piped digital sound into the cockpit from the engine. For audiophiles, people who like engine noises, the Focus ST is a really good car. It's got a lot of punch for how small it is. That's for sure. And it does have like some pretty nice traction control and stuff like that for people who do like to push the car a little bit. But yeah, ultimately I ended up going with the Mustang instead. Just been a Mustang guy at heart for a long time, since all the way back when I started liking cars, you know. Prefer Japanese cars, as I learned to drive in a Toyota Aris. Oh, nice. Yeah, Japan makes some really cool both front engine, rear wheel, and front engine front wheel drive cars as well. They're pretty cool with the sports car scene. I do like Japanese cars. But I'm an American muscle guy at heart. Just something about those classic muscle cars. They're way too big, they're way too clunky, and they have way too much horsepower, but there's just something about all of that that just has its own charm to it. I don't know what it is. It's completely ridiculous in the best ways. Ford Fiesta, yeah, the Focus is just a little bigger than the Fiesta, but it's kind of the same idea. The Fiesta sports versions, like the Fiesta, I don't remember. They might just call them the STs or the Type Rs or whatever. Those are very serious sports cars in their own right, but they've really only been available in Europe for a long time. Only just recently did they, like within the last 4 years or so, I think. Oh my god, this is terrible. I can't see absolutely anything. Alright, Filio, why don't you follow me, please? I'll take the rest of it on foot. I don't want to lead you into something too treacherous here. Rediscover Skyrim's past by clearing dungeons. What dungeon did I just clear just now? There was probably some kind of like non-dungeon grove over here with Spriggans or something. I have some vague recollection of that over here. That might have done it. Or maybe there were some ice raids over here in the same cell that got wiped out. By like giants or something. I don't know. I mean, I'll take it. I mean, if you're gonna be a Stormcloak, right, you gotta be able to brave weather like this. A native Nord. Probably just a wolf. Yeah. If you're gonna call yourself a son of Skyrim, a native Nord, you gotta be able to hang with this kind of weather. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna grow my beard a little thicker, because obviously that's what I need right now. I'm gonna bite down and bear the biting cold. The piercing wind. Fiesta ST. Yeah, a friend of mine from work got one. I think he ended up getting a lemon though. I don't know if it was the way he was driving it or it was a first model year for the United States versions of them anyway. It ended up being very unreliable. It was in the shop all the time. But people love that car. It's been a mainstay in Europe for a long time. I think he got a dud. Or maybe he wasn't taking care of it or just driving it too hard or something. I tend to notice a pattern of people who have quote-unquote bad luck with cars, or just people that just don't have either any concept of the idea of maintenance, don't know how to do it, or don't know that they're supposed to be maintaining their car, or just you know, they drive it too hard and deal with the repercussions of it. But at least those people don't think that they have bad luck with cars. For the most part, I think if you buy a car and you take good care of it, it's going to be fine for a long time. Ooh. Random Imperial, huh? Ooh, that was a tough fight. Heavy reinforced gauntlets. Yeah, I have the encumbrance for it. I'll take it. You got some alchemical ingredients and some poisons. Let's wait here and recover. Maybe the weather will pass in an hour. Kind of doubt it, but visibility like this, I'll often switch to first person. I'm impressed you can still play in third. Yeah, I'm not really seeing much. I'm basically just looking straight down at my feet and making sure that I'm still on the road, and that's about the long and short of what I'm doing there. I like to stay in third person because for the most part, I think it helps with people's vertigo. People have less like motion sickness issues in third person than they do in first person. Just based on like comments and stream chats and things like that. But also it's like I put a lot of work into the way my character looks, and I want to see them, and I want people to see them. And a lot of my third person or a lot of my animation mods in general are third person only. You only get to see them in third person, so try to stay in third person as much as possible. And I've actually kind of gotten to the point where I feel like I'm just about as good in third person as I am in first person. The extra visibility of like your surroundings, being able to like see on the peripherals of you and behind you is extremely valuable in tense combat situations with multiple enemies, for sure. So there are advantages to doing it. The trade-offs obviously is like lack of precision. You're not as close to the action, so like reacting to enemy animations and stuff like that is a little bit harder in third person just because you're pulled back a little farther. And it's harder to see an animation on a smaller character model than it is on a bigger one. We had a 2000 Cobra SVT, still have the leather jacket that came with it. Also remember the youngest barfing in it when I was taking him to the doctor, appendicitis. Yeah, that's awesome. I've never had like one of the high-end, like upscale enthusiast Mustangs. I've always just gone for the base models. I do prefer manual transmission. The current one that I have now, though, is automatic. It is increasingly harder to find manual transmission vehicles that have automatic options, just because they're very unpopular. But also, my wife can drive the automatic, which is nice if she needs my car or we're on a road trip or something.
Eastmere's beard, you're one after my own heart. I would love another bottle.
Skyrim's political climate confuses me. Why are the Imperials and Stormcloaks so angry? The Thalmor are the real threat. Yeah, well, it's manufactured, right? It's a plot device more than anything. I think the reason why they're so divided is the freedom of religion issue. It's like basically, well, there's a lot to it. It's very complicated. That's kind of the crux of the issue, right? But there's a lot more to it. The White Gold Concordat, I think, is the canonical reason why the Stormcloaks are so impassioned by what's going on. And it wasn't so much that the Imperials wanted to do it, but that they signed the treaty sort of without their consent to end the war when they didn't really agree to it. So that you can understand why they're so upset about. The other part of it, but from the Imperial angle of it, it's like, okay, this Great War is really tough. We got to do something to end it. We can just give the Thalmor this symbolic victory. They don't really care. Like, Tullius doesn't really care who worships Talos and who doesn't. Right? Nobody in the Empire does. The Thalmor have a murder boner for anybody worshipping Talos, that's for sure. Because it kind of threatens Elven supremacy. So I think for the most part, most of the Imperial-leaning Jarls would be fine with Talos worship in their walls, as long as it is like stays quiet, right? And as long as they didn't make like a big deal of it to where the Thalmor were going to come sniffing around and make things a lot worse for everybody else. There were also things like the Markarth incident. Where the Stormcloaks were kind of hung out to dry by the Empire against the Forsworn. Or not the Stormcloaks, but the Nords in general. The people of Markarth were hung out to dry against the Forsworn by the Empire, and Ulfric and his Stormcloaks kind of swooped in to save the day there. Yeah, there's a lot to it. There's a certain amount of xenophobia that goes along with it. It's not just a cut and dry, like, this is the one reason why they're fighting. There's a lot of different stuff, and it's like a lot of cultivated hatred on both sides over the years, I think, as well. The Concordat is the main driving force. Stormcloaks are pissed that it exists. That's essential. Yeah, and that's kind of the long and short of it. But if you like look between the lines and you look at it, yes, it should be the Imperials and the Stormcloaks versus the Thalmor, because the Thalmor are the real bad guys. You would think that the Stormcloaks would be able to temporarily let the Talos thing go in order to join back up with the Imperials and snuff out the Thalmor's influence on that thing and force them to sign a new treaty. But the battles that they're choosing they're not in line with the grand scheme of things, and they're only prolonging things, and that's exactly what the Thalmor wants, right? I feel like the Empire sees the bigger picture. They're pissed off that they have to be fighting the Stormcloaks. They know that the Thalmor are the real enemy, but the Stormcloaks are forcing their hand. Yeah, Rika has more gusto, and she's actually more or less openly, like, a Talos girl, right? She keeps a lid on it, for sure. And she has voiced open respect for the Stormcloaks and their argument, their grievances, right?
Balgruuf won't give
As it
us
should
a
be.
straight answer.
He's a true Nord. He'll come around.
I think if there were more people like Rika in Skyrim, Skyrim would be in a much better state.
The Empire's putting a great deal of pressure on Whiterun.
And what would you have me do?
If he's not with us, he's against us.
He knows that.
In terms of the Stigr,
How long are you going to wait?
I don't think he really has a strong personal
Stormcloak
stake in any of this.
If by
He's just
message
doing all
means
this because this is
shoving
what
a
he
sword
was
through his
supposed to do from the day that he was born. He was orphaned. Both of his parents were soldiers in the cause, either in the Great War or in the Civil War. I haven't really decided. Probably both.
Say you should take them all out like you did then King Torrig.
Torrig was merely a message to the others.
So he lost his parents to the war effort. He never really knew them. He grew up in an orphanage and was kind of selected. He was raised.
When you are.
Things hinge on Whiterun.
Okay, so no, he wasn't. He didn't grow up in an orphanage. He was raised by fellow soldiers. His parents' fellow soldiers, kind of brought up.
Still need
It was like an "it takes a village" type thing. The Stormcloaks, some of the common ranks, kind of just like raised him, fed him, trained him a little bit, but he never really had a sense of belonging to a certain set of parents. So since he didn't have this attachment, he's kind of been raised as a Stormcloak from the very beginning. He doesn't really know any other reality. He doesn't really think for himself, or doesn't really have any interest in it either, of the political intricacies of the war. He just knows that he was tasked by Ulfric to develop his assassination infiltration skills. Once he was able to
I fight for the men I've held in my arms.
sneak up and kill a saber cat, the apex predator of the tundra, in one blow, then he was ready to rejoin the ranks and be used more effectively by the war efforts. That's all he knows. He doesn't really have a sense of identity, at least yet. Maybe after he completes the Civil War quest and he kind of sees the fallout of it, and he's thinking retrospectively on it, and sort of becoming more independent in his view of the world. He might have conflicting views on it, but right now it's just, this is just the way it is. This is the only reality he knows. Oh, sorry, Haster, I've been talking over Ulfric's speech the whole time. It is a pretty good speech.
I would gladly retire from the world. Were such a day to go.
A lot more heavy on the emotion than the substance, but he's nothing else. He's a good evocateur. Yeah, there you go. Morag Tong Assassin doesn't really have any political affiliations. At least not in Skyrim, huh? Yeah, Rico's one of my favorites too. Tullius, yeah, he's all business. He's probably fueled mostly by upward ambition.
Only the foolish or the courageous.
He's good at what he does.
Without summons.
Doesn't really have a personal stake in it, though. Whoops. A fool would have joined the Empire.
A fair point. Well, you've come to the right place then. Speak with Galmar.
Force One Legacy kind of expands on the whole Markarth situation.
Good.
In Draven's words, Snow Monkey Noir's fighting colonials over golden asswipes is none of my concern. Only care about the money. He's a Lalu too. Yeah, pretty good quote. Can't really fault him for that point of view.
Speak with Galmar. He'll size you up and see where we can best use your talents.
He's partially right. Well, yeah. I mean, it's all just sentiment, though. I mean, sentiment isn't right or wrong. I don't think he's wrong for his sentiment. And yeah, I mean the points that he make about like his elven overlords or whatever is fair for sure.
It's a strange rock formation built by the ancients.
So used to having old Ulfric in your game, yeah. Now we got sexy Ulfric.
You kill an ice wraith out there.
You got your eyes fixed just in time, Strudel. For sexy Ulfric. Bad guy versus bad guy. Yeah, there's no clear-cut good guy, right? If you think one side is the clear-cut good side over the other one, you probably have biases that you need to work out personally. Not sure about this. All right, I'll get your ice wraith. Be back soon.
We'll see about that, won't we?
So first they make me go kill a saber cat. This ice wraith should be like easy business. 11:26 a.m. Still in the middle of the morning. How are we doing needs wise? Miggy love. Oh, you guys keep running into each other? Welcome, Miggy. Hope you're having a good weekend. Yeah, BGS is both really good and really bad about the gray area thing. It's like, on one side, it's like good to have like not a clear-cut like good guy or bad guy in their factions. It creates a little drama, a little tension where it's like, we've been talking about the Skyrim Civil War since the very beginning of when this game was launched, since November 11th, 2011, right? That means they're doing something right, for sure. And all the nuance and everything that they built into it is what has fueled that discourse. Because yeah, there are good and bad sides to both sides, to both factions. On the other hand, I feel like it's very purposefully manufactured to be that way. Right? It's like, okay, the Empire is trying to cut your head off, so obviously the Stormcloaks are the good guys, right? Well, it turns out a lot of the Stormcloaks are kind of racist a little bit, right? So that happens. I mean, they're not quite to the Nord supremacy levels as the Thalmor are with their Elven supremacy, but they toe the line and kind of step over it in some cases, for sure. So it's like, who do you go with? There's like not a good answer. Now, Fallout 4 was a little less gray area. I think in terms of like the Railroad versus the Brotherhood of Steel, that was very gray area. But then they also had the Minutemen, which is just like, okay, we're just the good guys. We're trying to doing our best just to help the people of the wasteland. That there's not really a downside to that, right? And then you have the other faction, which in my opinion is kind of like the more evil faction without much upside, and that's the Institute, who basically want to let everybody die and replace everybody with robots. And oddly enough, they're the ones that are fighting so hard, like fighting harder than anybody else, that all of these synths are just appliances. They're nothing more than just a blender in your kitchen, and yet they're trying to replace everybody with them. That's their big plan for survival of the human race. I don't buy it, Institute, for being geniuses. That's kind of dumb. Miggy is an author, a mod author. Awesome. What kind of mods? I probably know of them. Warhammer 40k. Aldari were once the rulers of the known universe. Anyways, after a cataclysmic event, most of them died or turned into demons. Alright, I'm about to get ambushed by a snow bear. Oh no, it looks like the snow bear went and fought somebody else. Who are these people over here? Who are these people? Those look like Stormcloaks, maybe? Yeah, those are Stormcloaks. Brothers in arms. I feel like the Stigr here is getting a little bit of shield envy from this guy in the middle. It's like, why is his shield so much bigger than mine? It almost doesn't seem fair. I think the Stigr wants to get a bigger shield now. Elven supremacy is the only truth after all. NPC replacers and presets. Oh, I wouldn't say just on that. That's a lot of work. I never had the knack for it, for sure. I mean, NPCs, like the replacers and the presets that you're talking about, that's like one thing that I always have to use a guide for, because it gets really complex, especially on like the trying to use this old game as a framework. I think it's amazing what people have done with replacers compared to what the vanilla game looks like. Those models are like nightmare fuel. Not as bad as Oblivion, right, with the potato faces and the atrocities that random preset generator would come up with. It's leagues above and beyond what Oblivion was, but yeah, still pretty nastickety. I still play the vanilla game from time to time on Switch and PS5, and I'm like, oh my god! And to think that this was such a huge improvement over Oblivion and Fallout 3. Creation kit drives me crazy. Sometimes I just need to take time away from it. Yeah. I've been in the creation kit. I've boogered around with a few things in there. Those head models and stuff, though, are a huge pain in the butt. They always have been. I feel like they always will be. Hopefully the Starfield Creation Kit 2 will help smooth some of those rough edges out a little bit, but I kind of doubt it. At least Starfield looks like it has vastly improved character models, even over Fallout 4. Fallout 4 was a huge improvement over Skyrim, and it looks like Starfield is a huge improvement over Fallout 4. Even though the Starfield models look like a far cry from something like Cyberpunk, I will take it. I will take it for sure. Somebody's shooting at me? Oh, there's another ice wraith over there. I don't know who the rest of these bozos are. Are they bandits? Yes, they are bandits. Okay, let's take care of the archer first. I really need to get this equipment tempered up. Not doing enough damage. Eat my tiny shield.
You won't. I'll carve you into pieces.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm just talking vanilla BGS models, gen over gen on each one of these games have improved. And that's something that modders will fix in Starfield too. I think it looks to me like the skin textures need a lot of work. Either the skin textures, or maybe that's something to do with their new lighting system. But they look kind of rubbery. They look kind of flat and fake and rubbery, right? They don't have like realistic skin. But I'm sure that that's something that modders will take care of like almost immediately. Oh, stamina has been an issue, hasn't it? Especially against... Do I have any resist frost specific potions? Ice Wraith Essence, that'll work. We'll do a little bit. Well, that was bloody. It was a little bloody. Just the way I like it. My reason for joining the Institute is that if I become the leader, I can influence change. That's a good point. I mean, they might technically be correct in that all of what we perceive as emotion is just, you know, code. On like some kind of digital storage somewhere in their robotic body, and it's like nothing to be concerned about. But as like a player, like witnessing all this stuff, if as a person you can't tell if it's real, and the synth itself can't tell if it's real, and if the emotions that they're evoking are real human emotions, then like, what's the difference? I guess at that point. At that point, you've made something so close to the real thing that it may as well just be the real thing. Okay. So if I can sneak up on this ice wraith that I'm supposed to kill, so we've killed 2 ice wraiths on the way to like sort of proving our strength to Galmar that we can beat an ice wraith. We just haven't done it at the Serpent Stone yet. If we can sneak up on them, I think it'll be a lot easier, but they seem to be pretty tough just trying to straight up fight in open combat. They take a lot of hits, they drain our stamina like crazy, and if they land a good hit, they can take half of our life in one shot. I was like, that sounds like a Khajiit. Usually don't like the colder weather, it's just the ritual stone. Okay. Usually side with the Brotherhood for the benefits given and the aesthetic. Yeah. I do like to, if I'm doing like a strength build though with like the big weapons, I do like to oppose the Brotherhood of Steel at some point. Just so that I can get Elder Maxon's Gatling laser gun. It's like the one statically placed Gatling laser legendary in the game, I think. There's actually another one if there's like a little dilapidated hut not too far from the Corvega plant where if you go there at a high level, there'll be like a crazy person there with another legendary Gatling laser. But he's kind of buggy on when he spawns, and half the time that I get that high a level in Fallout 4, I go back to that place, he just never spawns. So, can't really count on that one, but the Elder Maxon one you can count on. Oh, they added one for Nuka World, and welcome Shiny. Man, I've been really itching for a Fallout 4 playthrough. And I have the Magnum Opus Wabbajack installed, which I do really enjoy. It's a good one. But for the last month, last 2 weeks to a month, I've had this itch to play Fallout 4, but I'm saving it. I'm saving it up for Starfield. I want to be burnt out on Fallout 4 going into Starfield because they look to be very similar. At least in terms of the way that they play and the way things work. The story, the atmosphere, the tone, you know, Todd loves talking about his tone. They seem to be very, very different between the two, and Starfield looks very improved in numerous ways. But they still do Starfield does look very similar to Fallout 4 in terms of gameplay, and I don't want to get burnt out on that gameplay loop, that cycle, or that action before the game comes out. So I've been actively avoiding it, even though I really want to play. Emotion is what makes us human. Also, acting on emotion is part of the whole equation. So if you can't accept that, you are in no way, shape, or form better than those who caused the whole thing. I don't think anybody's denying what you're saying there, Haster. But I think the question goes back to what is actually real emotion. At some point, our brain is coded and programmed in a way that makes us feel emotional about certain things. I'm not sure that that's that much different than how a synth feels fear that they're about to be wiped out and lose all their memory, basically die, you know. Or the emotions that elicits in others. Saint Karn. I don't think I'm a saint. I try to be the best person that I can, but kind of in the same boat. I haven't played 4 since January. Oh wow. Fallout 4 has gotten better with mods. I just finished a playthrough of America Rising Tale. Yeah, some of the like the the big story mods, like oh, what's the big one? Sim Settlements, with all of its expansion packs, is huge. And then they have some of the big story packs too, like what you just mentioned. What was it? America Rising with the Enclave. A lot of just standalone stuff. They have, I think, the Fallout, like the London one, that's kind of like an Enderall, like standalone game built off the Fallout 4 engine. Some really impressive work. Okay, I think he partially detected us. He's going after the rabbit. The Wraith is like, sorry, tricks are for kids. I feel like they could be at this for hours. Seriously, and I'm worried about like being able to beat an ice wraith. What am I even worried about? Look at this. That rabbit is making him look stupid. Wind, Magus, you guys want to take an over-under on like who wins this fight? The argument whether to kill or not kill rabbits is an eternal one waged by the Wind and Magus. Oh, got him. I think he got him. I think he got him. Or the rabbit just took a leap of faith into the icy water. No, he's coming back. I think he got him. All right. Let's try to use this pillar as to break line of sight here. I should be okay to beat him in open combat, but I'd rather do it stealthily. I'm gonna do a quick save here, just in case. I can save scum if I need to. This isn't permadeath. Ah! Okay. Well, not fully detected. My ritual ghost should take the fight to him. We got some script lag here. Why aren't they fighting? Probably scripting. Okay. Do I have any invisibility potions? I don't think I do. I do have some sneak potions though. In fact, I'm gonna go kill even more long ears in this playthrough now. Chicken born, you want a rabbit born? Nice. I think you should switch. There's a nice wraith doing God's work. Nice. Instead of death counter, I'm gonna link my rabbit kill counter up in this place. Nice. I like it. Shake my damn head. You ever played Skyrim in the Morrowind lore book style, play style of Volkihar? No, I don't actually know off the top of my head what the Morrowind lore book Volkihar play style is, but it's probably heavily modded, right? Because I think that from what I've heard, the way they implemented Volkihar vampires in the game is far less powerful than what they are in lore. With just, then that basically boils down to like a lot of magic effects and gameplay mechanics that would be really hard to implement in the game engine. Why did they choose to have a rabbit kill counter? If you, yeah, if you weren't supposed to be killing them? I could follow that line of logic. The devs want you to kill the rabbit. Because they're dumb. All right, I'm gonna pop a sneak potion. I'm getting kind of fatigued on this whole getting hung up on the terrain thing. I don't know why the Ice Wraith feels the need to use the stairs to get back up to this thing. All right, let's just do this. Oh. Running out of stamina. Let's see if we can get some of it back here. Ooh, he got me good. Need more stamina. There we go. Rite of passage number 2 complete. Yeah, I think I mentioned before the serpents. I'm running the Andromeda in Irem Standing Stone overhaul. Serpent Stone is weird. You kind of need to make your entire build centered on this stone for it to be useful, I think. Because if you're just trying to add it willy-nilly, it's going to completely destroy your build. You drain magicka while you sneak. You can't sneak if you don't have magicka. You do much more sneak attack damage. But that's it. Usually, though, if you perk and level up correctly, you don't really need much more sneak attack damage, in my opinion. But I would still like to do like a build centered around this stone, because it is a very novel concept, right? It's a very unique playstyle. It would probably work well with Vancian magic, I'm sure. Probably be really overpowered with Vancian magic, actually. They're so weirdly strong and either melt me or take a ton. Yeah, they do. They hit really hard. Once you get to... I don't think they scale very well at higher levels, though. They kind of fall off a cliff once you get to level, you know, level 30, level 40, I think. We're not quite there yet, though. Level 20, 21. It's still... Yeah, you definitely have to take them seriously. The cold damage is hard to deal with because it drains your stamina, especially if you're a... Well, okay, so the thing is, if you're a melee build, stamina is extremely important because you need to be able to bash them out of that funky little twisting power attack that they do where they leave like the ice trails all over the place. And you need to be able to stagger them to get them to stay still so you can actually hit them. If you're a ranged build, they're extremely hard to hit because they have that windy hurt box that is very hard to connect with at a distance. Okay. Snowy saber cat is a much different story than a regular saber cat. Oh, 2 of them. God damn it. All right. 3 of them. I'm definitely not finding 3 snowy saber cats. Fortunately, they don't like water. Yeah. You gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. We did well against the Ice Wraith, but not nearly enough. Not nearly well enough. I can't go this way? What the hell way am I going? Oh wow, I was going completely the wrong way. Okay, you guys don't want to see me swimming around for 6 hours, do ya? I was just gonna fast travel, but you know what? No, I'll play this out. There's Misty Kitty Cat over there. There's another one over there, so there's a third one over here somewhere that I gotta try to avoid. Let's get our stamina back. Nice of Galmar to send 3 Sabercats just to test you on the way home, right? It's like we already did the roleplay thing with... Oh, there he is. Okay. They are weak to poison, and we do have plenty of strong poisons here. Okay. Was able to one-hit them with a sneak power attack. That's good. Maybe that's all we need. And know when to swim, yes. And know when to run, yeah. My St. Karn comment was in reference to CW when you're talking about, oh yeah, St. Billy. Gotcha. That makes more sense. I was like, I didn't think I was standing on like a morality soapbox or anything with anything that I was saying. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Oh, great. Definitely not fighting this guy fair. See how that guy one-shotted my Ice Wolf Phantom? That is one strong kitty cat. Okay, now what? Wow, he's coming from all the way downtown. Look at that. Really burning through paralysis poisons here. Oh, I got a perfect time block on him, and he still took 3/4 of my life. That is unreal. Okay, well, just methodically take them out one by one like a real assassin. I thought my sneak was doing really well, but turns out that snowy sabercats are really hard to sneak up on, especially in the broad daylight for some reason. Currently writing a fanfic about my character Draven and his life story. Gonna upload it to YouTube as a series where I read it. Oh, nice. Must be a ninja sneaking up on a cat. I don't see it. Yeah, I mean, that was the rite of passage that I roleplayed anyway at the beginning, was being able to sneak up on a sabercat and kill him with one hit. We were able to do that with a regular sabercat in the tundra. Didn't want to really try my luck too much with a snowy sabercat, but we were able to do that too, just not on the next two. All right. I was channeling my inner wind when I ended up at the extreme limits of the map up there in the northeast. I thought I was going back toward the shore, was going the exact opposite way. Where's my Skyrim GPS? I was trying to head for Helgen. Ended up in an invisible wall. HFH, indeed. Indeed. Now you passed all 3 of your trials, ain't that something? Yeah. It was supposed to be the one. And every time I go back to Galmar, he gives me a more impossible task. It's like, now when I go back and tell him that I killed the ice wraiths, he's probably going to be like, great, now pick out an anniversary gift for my wife. I'm like, what? The inner wind. And I tell you what, channeling this inner wind is so stressful that soon I'm going to be channeling some outer wind, if you catch my drift. You'll be catching my gust soon. Just don't break it. I feel like I don't need to break wind. She kind of does a pretty good job of that on her own. Saying I'm making you gassy? Maybe. Facts. Getting a good gift does sound harder than finding some dumb bone crown. Yeah, indeed. Now I'm imagining Galmore just giving the jagged crown to his wife for his anniversary, and then his wife just becoming the High King of Skyrim. Now that's a fanfic idea. Hey, this is where we started. I used Skyrim Unbound to do a random start, and this is where it put me. And we renamed our horse to Philia. I think that was Haster's suggestion. Lord Wolfie, hello, hello, back at ya. Hope you're having a good weekend so far. Good start to one anyway. We have just completed Galmore's trial to join the Stormcloaks by killing an Ice Wraith. We are on our way back to Windhelm now to get some real work, finally. Alright. There are typically some more Ice Wraiths and also some Frost Trolls out in this area, so let's try to be careful around here. There's like 2 or 3 Ice Wraiths and like 1 or 2 Frost Trolls. Usually they're fighting each other when I come through here, but sometimes they're fighting me. And it's also a distinct possibility that I've been through here once before, especially seeing as how I started just right down on the shore there. So we might be okay. Kind of want this iron ore. Remember the horse name suggestions? I think Philia was the only one that I remembered, so that's the one I ended up going with off stream. But I know there were some good ones. And there were some combo ones as well that we came up with, and I think a lot of them were really good. But Philia was the one that stuck in my head. Probably don't need to be sneaking right now, but he's an assassin. It's what he does. Who's this bozo? Oh, this is an assassin. This is an assassin added by a mod, and these guys are usually unleveled, meaning they're placed there at a static level. So it doesn't matter how high or low level you are, they're always the same level, which means at low levels, they are very, very tough. Now, once you get to level 30, level 40, right about where an Anirim build starts becoming very strong, these guys become less of an issue. But until then, they can be a problem. Okay, he's turned his back. Not quite. Well, saw me like immediately. Nope, now he sees me all the way.
Get out.
Didn't I tell you? Yeah, right? Permadeath. No, I don't think so. I do kind of feel like I need to take care of this guy, though. like take care of him. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is good. Ha! What was he shooting at, though? Probably just some rabbit. Probably another NPC going after a rabbit. You remember our aim? I'm waiting you with a great reward for your service. Probably an English as a second language mod author. You gotta give them some leeway with their English. It's a pretty good mod. I don't mind it. Crumpled hard. I definitely did. I got smashed like an empty can. That was through a block, by the way. I didn't time the block right because I went on like first twitch of the animation. And that power attack that comes from that mace is... Ooh, this guy looks like a thief. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to sneak up on this guy. I think he's scripted to open dialogue with you as soon as you get to a certain point, whether or not he detects you. Or not. This is all good practice for those Imperials. Those elf-loving Imperials. It's good I was able to get him in one hit there too, because with Imperious, Argonians are really, really tough to kill. They get really high rates of health regen that scales with how much missing health they have. So the lower health they get, the more health regen they get, and so like trying to put them away is an issue, is a problem sometimes. So if you can kill them in one hit, that is the way to go. You definitely don't want a drawn-out fight with an Argonian. They will outlast you. Ah. Jack Skellington. Maybe my stealth is not as good as I thought it was. No ailments or anything that would be affecting it. There was that skeleton over at, what was it, like Dead Man's Grasp or something like that? Hamvir's... No, Dead Man's Grasp is over here somewhere. Hamvir's Rest. They definitely weren't able to detect me, and I was able to go right through their line of sight, no problem, during broad daylight. Well, it wasn't really broad daylight. It was kind of the end of the day. It was kind of at dusk. Which is low visibility, which does make sense, so... As opposed to it being 3:40 p.m. right now. Don't really want to infiltrate this whole thing right now. We really need to get back to the Palace of Kings and Ulfric. Got some Z fighting there. Looks like we're good now. What a rude assassin. Didn't even tell you why he was about to kill you. Indeed. I mean, usually there's a very detailed contract on when the thugs come after you about who ordered it and why. But apparently there's some group of assassins after me that is not the Dark Brotherhood. Have you considered trying the Futhark mods? I have considered it, but they are incomplete as of right now. They do look pretty nifty. They're all racially based. I can't wait to see what he does when he expands the rest of it out. I've been very, very curious. I've been tempted to create a new profile just based on what's out right now, because it looks like it really expands capability of race-based buildcraft with some really unique things that only certain races can do based on, you know, what standing stones they have, and it's very exciting. It looks like a whole lot of fun. But I have a couple of things in the pipeline right now that would make use of my current mod list. I got some build ideas that I would like to flesh out with just standard and Skyrim first. Maybe I can do that stuff in parallel too, but then we also have Starfield coming out in a couple weeks, so I'm not going to be able to split my attention too far with that stuff. Wanting a change from Imperius anyways. I don't mind Imperius. Expands these, like, all of these concepts out to a point where, like, there's countless ways to combine them, and I still have builds that I want to try out that uses it. I like Imperius a lot. Some of the things I'm not so keen on, like, I want to say, like, Wood Elves. They have some really cool racial abilities, but any build that you do with the Wood Elf is going to be, like, nature warrior druidic based, right? Just because, you know, you're doing the green pack thing, you're eating your enemies, which you can take it or leave it, right? But then the Harrier thing, you're using a bird to hunt down, like, a high priority target, animal target. And then the sort of, like, big thing that you get is the speak with animals thing, where you get a permanent animal follower. So if you're a Wood Elf, you're talking to animals, you're getting permanent animal followers, and that's about the long and short of it. That's it. Kind of pigeonholes you into that archetype regardless of what you're doing. If you don't want to be nature themed, then you don't want to be a Bosmer, which I think is fine, but also kind of against what a lot of his other mods do, where instead of expanding possibilities within a certain build, it's restricting and contracting them into this one thing. I think the other races are fine for the most part, though. Widely applicable to different builds. Don't get me wrong, I love the mod, but it gets stale after a few runs. It can, and that's usually when I try to focus on something else as the center point for my build. It adds a lot to vanilla for sure. It stays fresh for a lot longer than vanilla does because it adds a lot of nuance, and it takes away just like these boring numerical buffs to things, and adds in some gameplay changing concepts, which is that is a key goal statement for him, is he wants to get rid of the plethora of just boring numerical buffs that you get from perks and racial bonuses and stuff like that, and add in things that will actually change or direct gameplay directly, which I like a lot.
All at reasonable prices.
I mean, talk to animals is also included in the Ordinator speech tree. It is, but that's completely optional, right?
I don't haggle.
You don't
If you want a
have
lower price,
to do
look
that.
elsewhere.
So to me, that kind of argues for my point that Bosmer is kind of, it's very one-dimensional, and it's one-dimensional in a way that you can perk yourself into for a non-Bosmer as well. So Bosmer's really the only one I have a problem with. Bosmer do get shafted. I don't know. The Wild Hunt is pretty cool. The cannibalism, Eldritch Horror, shapeshifting. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned 3 things there that that do give them a lot. I think if you're looking for a plain Jane race, though, that's kind of Imperial, right? They do have some nice buffs as far as speechcraft and influence and some illusion-based powers that are really cool to have and powerful in terms of gameplay. But if you're looking for just a standard race, I think Imperial is it. They're just kind of like a mishmash of different human races that came to be like just kind of like the most vanilla race out of all of them. They kind of melted all the other cultures into their own pot to a point where they like almost even don't have any of their own identity anymore. They're just like cosmopolitan talkers, right? It's funny that so many people use Bosmer to make their Link Zelda style characters. Well, that's because of just the aesthetics of it, right? You want a small little adventurer with pointy ears, and you got to go Bosmer. Used a Breton one time to make Arthur Pendragon. Decided that he basically got banished to Skyrim after trying to make himself king, kind of mirroring Ulfric. Ah, that's a pretty cool idea, actually. I like it.
Tell me again why we're wasting time and dwindling resources.
Talk about a lot of lore and backstory, that Arthurian stuff. That like goes deep.
Are upset. They don't all support you.
And it's like,
Damn the Jarls.
They demand.
I would say it's almost like as
Damn the moot. We should risk letting
it's
those
inspired
military
so many
victorious women
things
on the throne.
in fantasy
Skyrim over
fiction
the elves on a silver plate.
for so long that it's almost on the same level as like Lord of the Rings, I would say, with what is it has inspired.
No.
Then I used Dawnbreaker as my version of Excalibur.
It exists, and it will be the symbol of the righteousness of our cause. Think about it. The jagged crown. It heralds back to a time before Jarls and...
Yeah, it certainly acts the part. I mean, it's not like a whole sword in the stone type thing, but
people rose because they loved him. Skyrim needs that king.
It is definitely
You
gifted
will be that king.
from a magical entity, so it does kind of fit.
You're certain you found it?
When have I ever been false with you?
Poor Arthur, he tried to commit
Fine.
unjustified
I'll send the unblooded here with you.
kill in the
Fancy
moment
a
Excalibur
cruel
touched his
moldering
enemy, it
dungeon to see
broke,
if you can't stir up
and Arthur was no
Balmor's
more.
jagged crown.
Oh, is that how that ended?
It will be there. You'll see.
The second he became unworthy?
You're alive. I owe Ulfric a drink. I have to admit, I didn't think we'd be seeing you again. I misjudged
Yeah, this
you.
is a lot of shade that he
You're
gets for
definitely
being
Stormcloak
an
material.
orphan
It's time we made this official.
born under the sign of
protect
the
the
shadow,
oath.
right? He just gets kind of like a little bit of shade, a little bit of disrespect, a little bit of side eye. So the Stigr is constantly working to prove himself to his superiors here.
Before you're one of us, you must swear fealty to Jarl.
Just wrote the first story of your series. Nice.
Future High King of Skyrim. You must
All right,
also
James,
pledge
take it easy. Have a good weekend, buddy.
loyalty to your fellow Stormcloaks.
Take care of
to
yourself.
Skyrim and to her people.
King Arthur's like Batman. He had a million versions of his story. Yeah. Well, I mean, that story was told and retold over various different forms of media and formats over all these years, for sure. They buried him along with the fragments under Tintagel Castle in England. At least that's how the story goes. Nice. All right, I'm ready to take the
That's
oath.
the
Been ready for this moment my whole
By
life.
swearing this oath, you become one of us, a hero of the people, a true son of Skyrim, a Stormcloak. Repeat after
I kind of
me.
like how his armor
I do
is pieced
swear
together.
my
Like the
blood
gauntlet
and
part
honor to the service
is in two
of
different pieces.
Ulfric
So like
Stormcloak.
the part with the leather buckle on it there is part of the body armor,
and true high
and the
king
gauntlet
of
itself is
Skyrim.
like sleeved over the top of it. So when he moves his hand, you can see the armor like sliding over itself. I think it's a really cool way of doing it.
Talos is my witness. May this oath bind me to death and beyond.
Orphans get treated horribly in Windhelm in general. Being born under a negative sign can only make it worse. Yeah, and that's where a lot of his isolation comes in too. It's like even when he is around people, even when he's around like his brethren, his comrades, he is still isolated because he is nobody is willing to form a connection with him, like a personal connection with him. So he's out there in the wilderness. He's in inside the walls anywhere. He has no connections with people, so he turns to spirituality to fill in those holes. Okay, he just gifted us some Stormcloak armor. I think we're gonna have to see how this fits in with the rest of our gear. Mash it up.
Watch yourself out there.
You watch yourself. How about that? Not able to take any of this stuff yet.
What you need. Welcome to the fight.
I thought there was a set of Stormcloak gear over here somewhere that I could just take once I became a Stormcloak.
Keep your eyes open.
Interesting. We're talking about how the Stigr is going crazy here. Look at this guy. Oh, put away the invisible mug and grabbed an actual piece of bread. Okay. Mary. Stigr channeling Phil Collins. I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. East March Rebels armor. This is heavy stuff. Improved scale armor. That's better than what I'm wearing, but it looks a little clunky. Guard Knight gauntlets. I can use some of this though. Okay, we need to offload some of this on Philia. So there's going to be a little bit of slog back to the stables here. Oh, I still need to talk to Galmar anyway about the damn jagged crown. I think it just had a script fall off or something like that. It wouldn't continue the quest.
Tell me again why we're wasting time and dwindling resources chasing a legend.
Can't listen to this conversation
don't even know
again.
it exists.
Damn faithless Imperials.
We'll quote Draven on the topic of orphans. If it ain't a dumber child suffering, I ain't worried. Damn Noirs are always wanting more than they deserve. Ooh, he's a real Dunmer supremacist then, isn't he? What's the mission?
I have found the final resting place of the Jagged Crown. Can you believe it? Well, I'm almost certain. We're headed to Corvinjune, but if old King Borgus is indeed buried there, we're bound to run into trouble of some kind. Your fellow Stormcloaks are already assembling outside the tomb. I'll meet you there as soon as I'm finished.
Is my character a filthy lizard? No, he's a filthy Nord.
Don't wait around for me. And the moot.
And he's also encumbered with filthy gear.
Woman on the throne.
Stand by it. That Dunmer deserved everything that has happened. Ooh, we got fighting words. They did have it coming. They definitely had it coming. What's of more concern is that the Red Mountain that erupted and was destroyed is part of a greater prophecy about these towers falling. Like the Battle Spire was one of the towers, I think. The Throat of the World is one of the towers. The Red Mountain's one of the towers. The Oh, the big alien tower in the middle of the Imperial City. I don't remember what it's called. That's one of them that fell. And I don't know verbatim the prophecy, but when all those towers fall, something very, very bad happens. And I don't know what it is. I'm not sure anybody really knows what it is. Aster probably is the most familiar about this prophecy and where it might go. Skyrim does belong to the Gourds. White Gold Tower, yes, the White Gold Concordat, obviously. That's the battle cry of the Spriggans, nice. Ophelia, where you at? I gotta call her again. Great. Still have it active though. Hubby says, well, it is almost pumpkin spice season. Yes. Gotta love, oh, pumpkin pie is getting here. I love a pumpkin pie. Not one for pumpkin spice personally. I'm not a coffee drinker. I do like tea, but I haven't found a good tea that goes really well with pumpkin spice yet. But pumpkin pie, I am all about the pumpkin pie. You know it. You know I love a pumpkin pie. And it is just right around the corner, isn't it? It'll be September in a couple weeks. And then it'll be October. And then we'll have pumpkin pie. Oh, I'm not going to fight you about pumpkin pie being better than apple pie. I 100% agree with you. 100%. All right, what are we doing now? Okay, we need to focus on gear, I think. Let's see. We need to find some clothing to purchase. Let's check out Saudry's wares. I need a pair of gloves. I need a circlet. I need a pair of clothing. And the boots are inconsequential, but I need also amulet and a ring. Need to create, well, actually 2 sets of all of those. Because I need to create some crafting gear for smithing and some crafting gear for alchemy, and then I need to use that to temper up and enchant what I have. Because I'm having some trouble on legendary difficulty here at level 20. Always play on legendary difficulty here. Struggled a little bit against that assassin on the way back. Struggled a little bit with the ice wraith that I was fighting for Galmar. And those snowy saber cats were definitely scary.
Come and browse my fine
Let's talk to Naranya.
I don't haggle. If you
See if she's got any of these items that we're looking for. We're doing pretty well on septums here. She does have a silver necklace. I'll take that. The travel cloak is, that gets a little bit cheaty for even me. This is an added slot that you can put crafting fortification enchantments on. I'm going to keep it to the vanilla slots for my crafting gear.
Thank you for your custom.
So back to Saudry now, and then we'll check the stables to see if the Khajiit caravans have made their way over here yet from Solitude. Otherwise, we'll take a carriage to Solitude directly, I think, because there is the Divine Elegance store there that always has everything I'm looking for as far as clothing goes. And that's probably where the Khajiit are going to be hiding out if they're not here.
Doesn't.
Apple crumble is good. I mean, apple pie is
got something for just about
great. I do like apple pie a lot, but it is a far second underneath pumpkin pie for me. I wonder. Oh, here we go. Aster.
I buy and sell just about anything.
Oh, you're talking about pumpkin spice on a day where it's almost 100
All my
degrees.
goods are
Yeah,
legitimate,
I haven't even been
which is
able to
more
think
than I
about
can
coffee
say
or
for
tea in the
some.
last like 2 or 3 months. So I've been doing the energy drink thing, which is a good substitute for a little
Take a
while
look.
until, you know, it just starts causing general anxiety. Don't need the minor alchemy. I do have the enchantment learned. That's fine. Ooh, sneak attacks deal more damage. I have the money. I definitely want that enchantment. Noble fur mantled clothing. These will do the trick, but it's... Oh, common clothes. That works out better. And the common shoes don't really need. I don't see any gloves. The fur hood is not really ideal for crafting, either smithing or alchemy. You kind of want either a head wrap or a circlet for that kind of thing. And I don't see any unarmored gloves here. No unenchanted rings either. I have an unenchanted amulet. I need an unenchanted ring. I need unenchanted gloves, and I need an unenchanted headpiece. Hot tea is good for cooling one down. You think so? It's not really what I would do to cool down. Maybe cool down emotionally. I think a hot tea would go a long way to cool down emotionally, but not physically. Cream pie. Oh, no. Lemon meringue, yeah. See, like the lemon meringue and the key lime. I mean, I'll eat if there's no. If the choice is between the lemon meringue and the and no pie, then I'll take the lemon meringue or the key lime. But they're not my favorite. They're not my favorite for sure. I would almost rather just have cake at that point. Okay, let's ride the carriage to Solitude. Lemon drizzle cake.
Where do you want to go?
Oh, I like cheesecake, but I like to have like a lighter dessert at the end of the meal, and cheesecake is definitely not a light dessert. You have to kind of wait a little bit after a meal before you can eat cheesecake. But I do love a cheesecake.
Solitude's a big port.
And I'm not picky about what kind of toppings on it either.
Your tales of faraway lands.
Lemon meringue
Most
is
of them
usually cold,
foreigners
and that's great to
and
think about. That's a very good point. Very good point. I usually eat pumpkin pie cold too, though. Kind of like the same concept, just different fruit, right? The meringue is a little fluffier, a little foamier, I would say. The lack of a better adjective there. Key lime is a little bit more of like a jello consistency. Oh yeah, the Khajiit aren't here, so they must be en route to Windhelm at the moment. Let's use their... Can I put a campfire right here? Let's use their camping site to make one of our own. Sometimes too close to city limits, you can't. It won't let you put a campfire, but this seems fine. Okay. Harvest some dry wood. My mom makes something like a cheesecake. We put biscuits on the bottom of the pan, then cream on the top. Then after it's cold, fruit jelly with fruit bits in it, and then back in the... That actually sounds really good. That's almost like a tart, it sounds like. And I do like a tart as well. Little more deadwood. I really am trying to get the campfire stuff like as complete as possible, because I want to level up the survival skills, mainly for like the instincts, improved instincts and things like that. Mainly for the improved instincts. That's gonna make a big difference for the Stigr. What's up, buddy? No, you cannot sleep in my bed. Refugees. Okay, I thought he was gonna sleep in my bed. I was gonna be really, really mad. Oh, sleep for 1 hour? Yeah, that's gonna help. Great one, Karn. Getting a little flabbergasted with all these refugee visitors over here. Just sleep until the shops open back up. Alduin has to revive each dragon individually, as we saw in Kyne's Grove. That is true. Yeah, but after that, we don't see him till he shows up at the throat of the world. Who knows what he's up to? Besides, Bethesda doesn't need logic to make something cool. That is also true. Sometimes they break their own logic too. They just have to wrap it in a dragon break, and they can do whatever they want. They have a license to kill their own lore, their own consistency. Now I want to make a Tom Petty bard and says you don't have to live like a refugee. Nice. Nice.
Come in and
So what you all got going on this weekend?
Oh,
I don't think I have a whole lot of anything. I got yard work.
Charming customer.
I have a video on tips on how to get the most out of your first play of Starfield that I'm working on. Also working on the
Breeches,
Scorpion build guide.
gowns, clothes for
That
any
is in full
occasion, really.
production right now too. That build is basically done at this point. Keeper's clothes, blacksmith's apron. Yeah, we'll take 2 of those. Don't need the boots. So I'll be working on that a little bit. Got the yard work. I think the wife and I are due for a date night. So we'll be trying to figure out something to do. Either tonight or tomorrow. Need another pair of gloves. That's a very expensive circlet. I think I'll just be going with the hood wraps, or the head wraps on these instead of the circlets. Mage gloves, there we go. Now I also need, I can probably smith my own rings. I think I got 1 amulet. I need 1 more amulet and 2 rings if I can find them cheap enough here. Otherwise I'm just gonna, that's kind of expensive. Whatever. Need 2 rings now. And I think I need some more grand soul gems. Oh, I need the headpieces as well. Oh, just 1 headpiece. I like the dead head scarf, the dark head scarf. Works well for crafting, I think. Now I just need an unenchanted ring. We'll go ahead and go with the Nordic ring. A little pricey, but it's fine. Do I have anything else to sell you back here? I only need one blacksmith's apron because alchemy does not go on a body slot, only smithing does. Alchemy and smithing both go on gloves, so I need 2 pairs of those. I don't need the common gloves. I don't need the charmed necklace. I already have the carry weight enchantment. This I'm going to disenchant. Go ahead and sell Sigurd's golden necklace. I don't need that. So I have 2 amulets. I have only the 1 ring. I thought I had 2 rings. Oh, well, I can smith up a ring if I need to. I think we're good everywhere else. I need 1 headpiece, which I have with the dark head scarf. I need 2 sets of gloves, which I do have. I need 2 amulets. I have with the silver necklace and the Nordic amulet. I have 1 ring to rule them all. Now I do need another ring. And I think that's it for crafting gear. Okay.
Finally.
Do need another ring. Let's go take a look at bits and pieces here. They might have a ring. Otherwise, I'll just have to smith one up. No biggie. Odyssey of the Dragonborn. They've been at it for like 2 or 3 years. Yeah. Didn't they? Yeah, they either put out some promotional material or they released it recently. I thought I saw a video on it just like this week.
Huh. You know, you've got a certain...
Oh, I think they announced a release date. I think they announced a release date either 2024 or 2025,
Feel free to
if I remember correctly.
We've got a bit of everything.
I'm getting flashes of it in my brain now. I think I saw a screenshot of like a social media post or something on Discord saying that they're officially announcing the release for something ridiculous like 2025.
Take a look.
I could be wrong. Somebody else is in the know. Please do correct me. Rings. Okay, just an enchanted one. All right. I do need some
Back
grand
to
soul
bits and
gems
pieces
here.
at a
I think I
time.
have 2 back at Ryek's End. Gonna need a lot more than that. Currently practice singing Walk by Pantera, or are you just yelling and growling Walk by Pantera? And are you head banging? If you're not banging your head, you're not singing it correctly. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you talking to me?
Pardon me.
I am headbanging indeed. Excellent, excellent. Well done. You may proceed. Carry on. Speaking of Odyssey, though, I've been getting the itch to play Assassin's Creed as well. And Assassin's Creed Mirage, I think, is coming out in October. The problem is I think I'll be right in the middle of the throes of ecstasy caused by Starfield when that comes out, so I probably won't get to it for a while. And I actually haven't even played Assassin's Creed Valhalla yet either. I played Odyssey for about 100 hours, which is a lot to play one game. Probably isn't a lot in the grand scheme of things of an Ubisoft title, especially one of the more contemporary Assassin's Creed games. But 100 hours is a lot to put into a game, and I did enjoy it. I just got to a point where I'd had enough.
I had you figured for a mage. I think you'll appreciate this.
Put on some Pantera and headbang like a gent. I don't know if I have the neck to headbang anymore. I used to be able to do it in high school and college, and my neck would get
Take care
sore
of
then.
yourself.
I would wake
Always
up with a big
remember,
knot
The world is ripe with people who can dispose of
in the back of my neck. But it was totally worth it. Nowadays, probably would not be worth it, and probably be a lot more than just a painful knot in the back of my neck. Odyssey's a great game, middling on the whole Assassin's Creed part, but it, as an RPG, it was great. Yeah, I agree. I haven't actually played a lot of Assassin's Creed, so for me, it was more of a standalone game. It was light on the Assassin's Creed part. It didn't really go... It had elements of it, right? With the Animus. It did touch on some of that stuff, but it was very light on it, and not a whole lot on the Assassins versus Templars at all. It was pretty much just, let's see what Alexios or what's her name are up to. Cassandra was her name. Cassandra. Let's go back and see what they were up to and do some cool shit. Which honestly is fine. For what that game offered, the amount of stuff that it did, and like the amount of Greek lore that it touched on was really awesome. I don't think it needed much story beyond that, because Greek mythology is so rich on its own. Okay, we need to buy more Grand Soul Gems. Let's maybe this Traveler Merchant has some?
Take a look.
Worth a look anyway. No, they don't.
Until next.
I have 2 at home. I have 1 in my inventory. I'm going to need... How many do I need for a set of crafting gear? I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the other amulet, 7, 8 for the 2 rings. I need 8 Grand Soul Gems, and I have 2. Expensive work, this crafting, isn't it?
Need a ride? Where do you want to go?
Let's go to Morthal.
Climb and
Not
back, we'll
Morthal.
be
I
off.
did not want to go to Morthal. I want to go to
Can take
Markarth
you to any of the
instead.
hold capitals. Where do you want to go?
The other M1.
Climb and back, and we'll be off.
Yeah, Markarth.
Ever been to Markarth? Not safe, still quite adorable.
I should go back and play Odyssey again. I never touched the DLCs, and it kind of beat myself up because of that. I did have the DLCs installed, but I never really played the non-expanded version of the game, so I don't really know what I played that was DLC and what wasn't. Which is how I prefer to do it anyway, for games that I'm behind on. I feel like a lot of expansions and DLC add a lot to the game that they wanted to have for launch, but just didn't have time to put it in. So I'm on games that I don't get to right away at launch. I think that's the ideal way of doing it. Just go in blind with a fully expanded game and just play it as if it came out that way.
Yeah? Take a look.
That's how I played The Witcher 3 as well, which was pretty cool. Do we have a caravan? We do not. So that means these guys are either at Whiterun or somewhere in between. So the Khajiit caravan patrols, the one goes between Markarth and Whiterun. So the same folks that you see sitting outside of Whiterun are the same folks that you see sitting outside of Markarth. Solitude, the Khajiit caravan that you have there, actually goes back and forth between Solitude and Windhelm. And then the third group goes between Dawnstar and Riften, I believe. If I'm wrong, please correct me, but I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. So if you're looking for one outside one of those cities, check the other one, and if they're not there, they're somewhere in between. So I'll usually check one location, then I'll hightail it to the other location. Usually find them on the way somewhere. Smells like Teen Spirit now. Nice. Get a little Nirvana in there. Yeah, I kind of want to go back to Odyssey at some point too, but I want to give Valhalla a fair shake before I do that. My experience with Odyssey was on a 1080 Ti, which was good at the time, but it was right before I got my 3080, and I never really played it with a 3080. And now I have a 4090, so I'm actually looking forward to seeing how that game performs now. It was fine with the 1080 Ti. I was getting 60 FPS most of the time, but it was dipping into the 40s and 50s in more populated areas. Here, let me help you out with that. Margaret is a current player teammate. That's amazing. Yeah, sure, why not?
By the divines, the Forsworn are here in the city.
What happened there was, so Margaret got killed, and then the ritual stone remembered her spirit, so that when I got into combat with Wayland here, he revived Margaret's spirit, and now since Margaret was a named NPC, I think the script attaches them as a follower to me, and at that point, Nether's follower framework came in. It's like, oh, this is an NPC, a named NPC. Do you want me to automatically add this new follower to the framework? And I said yes. But then as soon as that started, it was over. Let's see. I need to check out Lisbeth's shop over here, the general goods store. See if she has any grand soul gems or an unenchanted ring that I could buy.
Did you hear all that noise outside?
It's just the market rabble. We should get back to work. You there, if you've been seen in the company of the companions. Oh, a bit of this.
I recall either Margaret or her assassin. They technically aren't dead in the lore. They're faking it. Oh, really? That's interesting. That sounds like something an Imperial agent would do. They're pretty sneaky. So I wouldn't have put it past Margaret using a tactic like that. Yeah, but I haven't heard that lore. Oh, these things look pretty wicked, huh? Okay, but we're here for Grand Soul Gems. She does have one. Excellent, excellent. And do you have an unenchanted ring? No. Yes, she does. Look at that. Excellent. Now I have all the pieces of gear that I need. I have 3 out of the 8 soul gems that I need. I'm also going to need more grand soul gems to actually enchant my gear too, but I'm quickly running out of septums. Like really quickly. Okay. Sell off some of this stuff that I don't need. The dead wood I can definitely use. Don't need any of the arrows. Blacksmith's apron I do need. The red guard gauntlets, I might switch over to those. So I will sell off my fur bracers. This ring I need for the hidden quest for Hunterborn that I will be doing with this character. Everything else I need for enchanting. Do I have anything? Yes, I have a lot of these that I can sell off. Excellent. That helps a little bit. Stamina potions. They're useful in Wildcat because stamina has such an important, vital, active part of combat in Wildcat, but I think it's more effective just to use a regular damage health poison, honestly. Scrolls I don't need. Probably a lot of food here that I don't need either, but I don't really want to sift through all that right now. Not using Blight Curse or Necrosis, so can sell off that spell. Regular non-flawless gems we can... Oh, actually flawless gems we can get rid of too, because we're not going to be going that far down the enchanting skill tree. Anything else in here? Yeah, empty soul gems I don't need. The Eternal Frost for the Leviathan Axe I don't need either. Okay. That's pretty good. 7,000 gold still. It's probably going to take a big dip. Hopefully Calcelmo has some Grand Soul gems he can sell us. Come as you are, as you were.
So you don't know anything about
I used to know how to play that on guitar.
No.
I mean, that's it's an extremely easy song to learn, at least the bass line anyway, on guitar. Basically just the two top strings and the like second and third fret over and over again. Still very catchy though.
What are you hiding, priest?
I'm not hiding anything.
I'm not hiding anything.
Typical Imperial lies. First, you take away towels.
he's accosting that
What are you doing
poor
here?
priest of RK for the white gold Concordat just because he's an Imperial.
Any more workers or guards?
Like he individually took away Talos from them. Are you a wizard? I just wanted to buy some spells.
Magic. That's what they always want. Never history. Never the secrets of the Lord.
This guy's just flying off the handle.
Just little spells and enchantments.
Been working a little too hard, Calcelmo. Relax,
Do you
buddy.
even know who I am? The most recognized scholar on the Dwemer in all of Tamriel. And you people keep bothering me. I'm sorry.
Which is very funny when one of them gets beheaded due to Bethesda randomness. Yes, indeed.
Stressful work, and I shouldn't have yelled. How can I help you? I had you figured for a mage. I think you'll appreciate
No
this.
filled Grand Soul gems. Well, we're really striking out on this, aren't we?
What? Oh, goodbye.
Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take one more detour over to Whiterun, and then maybe Riverwood as well. Just looking for Grand Soul gems. Hopefully they have them. If not, I can just, you know, head back to Ryek's End and get started on it anyway. I can do the rest off camera. And then next week, I think we're going to be focusing on the Stigr here. I don't really have anything else in the pipeline for live stream characters anyway. So we'll be focusing on the Stigr from here on out. I also want to stream some Starfield when that comes out in a couple weeks. But I'm not going to give up on Skyrim. I just got to figure out what the schedule is going to be for that. If I'm going to be alternating weeks or if I'm going to be adding another day. Maybe we'll do Starfield Sundays or something. I don't want to run into Wind either. I don't want to step on her toes as far as streaming. So I got to find a different time slot for that. Or I'll just alternate weeks. I'll do Skyrim one week and Starfield the next. We'll see. I kind of want to ride the Starfield popularity while it lasts, and I'm also probably going to be pretty obsessed with that game. So I would like to be able to stream Starfield more than once every 2 weeks, but I also don't want to forsake Skyrim because that's what I've built this entire channel on. and I still love to play, and I still want to see these character concepts go to completion and do the build guides with them, because that's the bread and butter of my channel, and that's what I love to do. Just because Starfield comes out doesn't mean I'm going to not want to play Skyrim anymore, right? I'm just going to be a little obsessed with Starfield. This happened with Fallout 4, and then after a few months I was like back in Skyrim's butthole, where I belong. Now I gotta take the real carriage back to Whiterun. Khajiit are still not here. It was worth a check, though.
Traveling in the Reach is dangerous. You need a good... Where do you want to go?
Whiterun, please, my good sir.
Back and we'll be off. It's almost getting downright hot now.
I think... Did I ever send out the stream notifications across all the Discord channels? I remember I remember copy and pasting the message in there, but I don't know if I hit send on any of them. Usually I'll preload those Discord messages.
Tools, wares, and
here we go.
All for sale. Khajiit's wares. Take a look.
I'll preload those Discord notifications, and then I'll just cycle through them and hit enter on everything. I don't know if I did that this time around. Ooh, he's got 2 grand soul gems. Very nice. I'm looking for gold cannet is also a good one for fortify enchanting. Definitely want those. You also want to look for drow wax, which I do not see, and stoneflower petals, which I do not see. But the gold cannet is definitely good for enchanting. The ingredients that you get from the Khajiit as part of the Rare Curios creation that comes with AE, it's a free add-on. These are very, very powerful. They add a multiplier to whatever potions that you brew with them, at least for certain effects. And the multiplier, I think, is calculated separately. Multiplicatively on top of the boosts that you get from enchanting and any potions that you take. So it's a huge boost. It ends up being really, really strong comparatively to any other ingredient that you're using for any kind of crafting. So those 3 things, always be on the lookout for those in these Khajiit caravans. The gold cannet, the drow wax, and the what was the other one? The stoneflower petals. Very, very powerful for crafting. Do I have anything else to sell them? I don't think I do. I think I'm pretty much tapped out on loot to sell. Might be some more stuff back on Philia and the horse, but whatevs. Now we gotta speak to Belethor, or actually, you know, what's his name? The Forgotten Magic Redone vendor over here might have some soul gems on him too.
Yes?
No.
Take a look.
Yes, he does. Look at that. Perfect.
Take care now.
Definitely eating through our gold, though. We had close to 12,000 septums, and now we're down to like 2,600. Yeah, you're singing these songs, but are you singing them like Kurt Cobain? With the gravelly voice? I mean, he was decent as a vocalist, right? But he had a really rough... gravelly, kind of whiny... It's not very aesthetically pleasing, but it worked for the type of music, right? It's not something that everybody can just kind of replicate. It's a very unique voice.
Welcome to Belethor's General Goods. Well, everything's for sale. Some may call this junk. Me, I call them treasures.
I would be surprised how similar, huh? Interesting. All right, do we have any grand soul gems here? No, just a bunch of empty little ones. Okay.
Do come back.
I think I only have the gold for 1 or 2 more grand soul gems anyway.
No, nothing. Nothing of our struggles, our suffering.
Nothing. And what of my son?
Not my fight.
What of
Chops and steaks fit for a Jarl. Come and see my
Stigr should build a permanent log cabin somewhere. I don't think I have the modding capability to do that. That would be cool though. I will most likely be taking advantage of at least one of the Hearthfire homesteads, just for, you know, to take advantage of the greenhouse and the garden for plantable plots. Just for, you know, legendary gameplay purposes and making sure that my gear is up to snuff. Farengar, wherefore art thou, Farengar? There you are. Hey, Farengar, let's make out.
Come to dragons.
No. My affection is not reciprocated.
It seems this damnable conflict has claimed everyone's passions of late. Me, I prefer my books.
And your spells?
And my spells.
Thought so.
Spells and incantations for those with the talent to guess.
Yeah, not enough for one more, so we're pretty much tapped out on Grand Soul Gems right now. Okay, let's head back to Ryx. Start doing some of this stuff up. Hearthfire, honestly, is just glorified log cabin building, though. It's more kind of longhouse, sort of like Nordic, more so than log cabin. But yeah, it is essentially exactly that. Berengar doesn't kiss, he just wants to see your Dragonstone. Oh, snaps. Stigr's Dragonstone is hard as a rock for Farengar. It was that love potion. I feel like Arcadia accidentally gave the Stigr her love elixir that she was working on, and he drank it right before he went to Farengar. So now he's got a giant crush on him, which has to be an abusive relationship, right? At least emotionally, mentally abusive. Shortcut. That hurt a little bit, but I'm okay. I feel like he just turned his ankle or something on a rock when he landed. Enough to ruin my month. Barely enough to ruin the next 5 minutes for the Stigr, because he's a madman. Gonna take a lot more than a turned ankle to stop the Stigr. Okay, I'm gonna get a set of smithing gear set up here. Or no, I'll do probably alchemy first, because that's kind of the base level. Get some alchemy gear set up here, and then that'll give me the opportunity to make some buffed up smithing potions and enchanting potions, and then I can use those enchanting potions to enchant some smithing gear, and then use that smithing gear and the smithing potions to really upgrade my gear. So that's what's next on the agenda for me. Once we get back to Ryxen, though, I'm probably going to call it quits on the stream. We're right at about 3 hours here. I just want to get to a good stopping point so that I can put the camera on the guy and say my goodbyes. Then I got to eat something. I'm hungry. I always stream like right over my lunch period, so it's like somewhere around halfway through the stream or at the end of it, I just start getting real hungry. There was both a Weinstein and an Epstein, and they were both terrible people. who are very business focused. So I think it could be either one. Okay, I think that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. If you happened upon this and you're not part of the community, you're not regularly here, please do check the link in the description below for some other awesome content kind of in the same vein. We got fanfics, we got Twitch streams, we got produced stuff. It's all real good. I can promise you, otherwise I wouldn't be linking to it. So do click around in the links below if you're starved for more Skyrim content. I think that's it from me today, guys. Take care, and I'll see you next time, okay? Be well. I'm gonna eat some food. Cream pie.